Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be showing you how I knitted this Marceline sweater. So I was on YouTube and I seen a few people crochet the Marceline sweater, but I haven't seen anyone knit it. And I'm a big knitter. I love knitting. I love knitting more than crocheting, but of course I like to crochet too. I crochet. Also, this is not for beginners. I want to throw this out here because I don't want any comments about this is really hard. Yeah, not for beginners. I don't want to see any comments about this or disliking it. Okay. I know I don't want this intro to be too long either, but it's not even an announcement. It's more of a thank you to you guys because I got my phone here. Make sure I'm accurate so I can thank each one of you guys. I am at 231 subscribers on my channel. But yeah, literally last video, which was like 2 weeks ago, I was thanking you guys because we just hit 100 that week, and I was thanking you guys so much for that. And now we're almost at 250. Thank you. If you would like a tutorial on how to make this cute Marceline sweater, or at least even if you don't want to make it, you just want to watch me make it, go ahead, do whatever you want. You can put this on as background noise, whatever. But yeah, enough rambling. Let's get on to the video, shall we? Let's go. Let's go, guys. Go on. Let's go. I have 4 balls of gray yarn and 1 red. Some knitting needles. I'm using 5.5mm knitting needles. I bought these for this project because my other 2 are occupied, so oopsies. A sewing needle, a rounded stitch marker, and regular stitch markers. Yeah. Tutorial hands are back. I forgot to open this, and yes, I did buy this from Hobby Lobby. Ooh, feels really nice. I got the 32" / 80 centimeters for all my non-Americans. The first thing I did was cast on 75 stitches. Now that I've casted 75 stitches, I am going to begin to rib. And the ribbing I'm going to do is just knit 1, purl 1. You can already see it in. After I rib the row, I'm going to rib for another 7, which will be a total of 8 ribbing rows. 8 rows of ribbing. There we go. Once I ribbed all 8 rows, I began to stock knit stitch for 14 inches. Once I reach 14 inches, I place 2 stitch markers, one 25 from the left and one 25 from the right. And I put the stitch marker on the 25th stitch. And I'm going to use this graph I made myself in Stitch Fiddle. And if you use it, please credit me, it'll be very awesome. So the graph itself is 25 inches horizontally and 21 inches vertically. So it's not that much. Now I'm beginning to work on the graph. I didn't really feel much of me making the graph because honestly it took me like 4 tries. It was very difficult, but I'm going to show you the technique I'm using. And I'm using intarsia. That is the technique I'm using to switch the colors off. You can just cut and tie them, like knot it or weave it. But yeah, this is what intarsia looks like. I'll do a quick little tutorial, but but Creative Bug Studios has a great, wonderful tutorial you guys can use. I suggest you go watch that, but here's my little crappy tutorial. So basically, I just put the gray yarn or the old yarn to the left, and I put the new yarn over it, kind of like weaving it. So my new yarn would be the black, and I put it over the gray. Here is my process so far, and this is the point where I wish I add an extra row to the forehead, but you know, you live, you learn. But yeah, the face is technically completed. I just have to do the ears. I said completed. And look at that back. Wow. Like I said, not for beginners, but you can try. And here is the whole graph done. Yeah, like I said, you know, I like her. Pretty good for my first graphing, especially with knitting. But anyways, let's get on to making the shoulder section. Okay guys, so here it is. Ta-da! It's done. It looks kind of like goofy with like these look a lot thicker, but I'm like, girl, I'm not redoing this. I'm not. And if you're wondering why they're a different color, it's because this may or may not be the 4th time I redid this. So I used different stitch markers. So now I'm just gonna keep knitting with my gray yarn until the panel is 21 inches. And then I'll see you then. Okay, to make the shoulder section, I'm going to knit 21 stitches. Then after I knit that 21, I'm going to knit an additional 2. Then cast off. And you know how to cast off, right? I'm guessing you do. You just pull the back loop over the front one, and you continue to do that. And you continue until you have 20 left on this side, and don't forget that this one right here also counts as one, so it'll be 21 altogether. And you just knit that row, or finish knitting the row. And you will have to work on each section one at a time. So I did 2 inches on that side and 2.5 inches on the other. Get off! Leave Raven alone. Jesus. Stop being weird. Get off. Oh my god, Emily. Don't. Okay, so you're going to place both of the pieces right sides facing each other, and the backs should be up. So then I couldn't really show this part because my boobs were all hanging out, but here's the first section I did. And make sure you do the inner, sew with the inner, not the outer. Does that make sense? Like the inner stitches? Inner loops, do the inner loops, not the outer ones. Now I'm sewing up the sides, and at first I made it 15 inches long, but the sleeve holes, but the armholes were too big. So I added an additional 1.5 inches, so it came up to like 16.5 inches. And then I began to sew. Hello, it has been a minute since I've talked to the camera because it's been so hard to film. It was really gloomy yesterday, so I couldn't really film too much because it was like dark. It wasn't just like cloudy, it was like dark. So I could barely film. I just filmed a little bit yesterday, but I couldn't film anything like this. But I thought I'd give you guys a little update to see how far along I am and what to do next. Let's go. Okay, so I have the sweater, well, the panels sewn together. Like I said, it was really hard to film yesterday. It was really hard to film yesterday because it was gloomy, so I couldn't film much. And plus, since winter's coming, it's getting darker sooner. It's like, okay. But anyways, here it is. So let's try it on. First, I didn't like the graph. I thought it didn't come out good. I thought it looked a little, well, how do I say this? Crusty. But I'm starting to come around with it. I like it now. I'm starting to love her and appreciate her. It's because it was very, very, very stressful. You can't just like knit, like cut and tie it together, but it gets pretty like clunky inside, so or you could weave it in too, but that also can get kind of clunky. But and I made this detailed diagram, so if you want to give it a look, here it is. I think you know what time it is. Okay, for the sleeves, I didn't film much of this, but I will give you a quick graph. So I did 4 inches gray, then I did 5 red, then I did, oh my god, then I did 7 gray. Then once I hit 7 inches, I started to decrease to make the cuffs, and I'll show you how to do that now. Now I'm going to show you how I began to decrease, and the decrease consists of 2 rows, so 2 simple rows and you're good. Okay, so first I knit 2. And the next 2, I'm going to knit these 2 together, going in from the back stitch, so the 4th stitch, wrapping my needle around wrapping the yarn around my needle and pulling through. So like before, you're gonna knit 2, go in from the 4th stitch, pull it through, and then that's how you decrease. And you're going to continue to do this until you reach the end of this round. Now for the second row, I did the same thing except for the 2 stitches I regularly knitted, so the ones that I did not decrease last row, those are now becoming decrease stitches. The ones that were just 2 regular knits are now a decrease, and the decrease stitch, so it should be 1, is just a regular knit. So like these 2 are now decreases, and the stitch next to it is now just a knit. So for row 1, it's knit 2, decrease, knit 2, decrease, and for this row it's decrease, knit 1, decrease, knit 1. So for this part, you're going to need another stitch marker and 4-sided knitting needles. Taking 1 needle, I'm going to put 10 on 1 needle, 10 on another, and then 10 on the third, which literally worked out perfect for me, but it depends how many you have left over, it depends how big you made your sleeve and all that. Then where the stitch marker is where the beginning of the row is, and I began to knit 1 per 1 for 7 rows, and then for the 8th, that's the cast off row. And here is the completed sweater, and also Raven did not want to move, so I just put it on top of her. But here is the completed sweater, all here, big poofy puffy sleeves, the questionable looking cat graph. It was fun to make. I love how it came out. And now let's roll the outro. Meow, meow, meow. The sweater is completed. I completed the sweater. I'm pretty proud of it. The only thing I don't like about it is how big I made the neck hole. I probably should have did 25 where the hole would be, and then 25 of this shoulder, but I kind of like it. It's kind of like, you know, like, I don't know. But besides that, I love the sweater. It looks super, super cute. Yeah, this is my first ever graph. So, pretty exciting. Also, remember, if you guys do use my graph, make sure you can at least credit me somehow. Obviously, if you're personally using it, you don't need to credit me, like, girl, what? But if you, like, post it or whatever, you know, you can credit me. Oh, also, if you do make it, tag me on Instagram. Here. Either account. This is my YouTube/art account, and this is my main. Follow either one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it inspired you in some way. Thank you guys so much for 230 subscribers. It means so much to me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh, my stomach just made a noise.